All right, we're on our final section of the newspaper for the week. This is typically the bottom section of the middle of the newspaper. And so we're going to go through these sections here. The first section here is on La Paz County. That's our county highlight. You can see it outlined down here in orange. There's going to be several questions that come out of this section. I'm having a little bit of difficulty with my cursor and highlighting. I'm not exactly sure why it won't let me highlight in all the places I want to. So just know that you might have to take care of that on your copy, but it's not quite working the right way on mine. All right, La Paz County. La Paz County was formed on January 1st, 1983. Since then, tourism and agriculture have become the leaders in the county's economy. Now, I keep trying to highlight the words tourism and agriculture, and I don't know if you can see what's happening here, but it's highlighting the wrong section, but I'm going to go ahead and highlight that anyway. And you'll notice that it automatically highlighted this whole thing here. I'm not exactly sure why. There's obviously something going on with my computer, but just know that this is what you need, is tourism and agriculture. The towns of Parker and Quartzsite are the main population centers as well as the main business areas for residents and winter visitors. La Paz County offers residents and visitors a combination of water and desert recreational activities. In the Parker area, water recreation is king. You're going to see this come up, and I'm going to tell you that they're going to try and trick you a little bit between Parker and one of the other cities in this area, so keep that in mind. In the Parker area, water recreation is king. The 17-mile Parker Strip offers some of the best water for skiing, boating, wave running, and swimming, as well as excellent fishing. Desert rats will enjoy miles and miles of off-road trails, old mines, ghost towns, and beautiful springtime wildflower displays. Quartzsite is known for its winter gem and mineral shows. We're going to highlight that there too. So Parker and Quartzsite, the two kind of main areas there, and you're going to see a question there where they might try and trick you just a little bit between these two cities. So make sure you pay attention carefully to which is which. More than 1 million folks visit this community each year to take part in these shows. La Paz County offers a quiet haven to winter visitors escaping the snow and ice of the northern and midwestern states. Now this middle section here on character is all about judgment, and I know that the whole thing is highlighted there and it shouldn't be, but I'm going to let you read that on your own and talk about that with your parents. Judgment is always a good thing to discuss with your parents and make sure that you are using your best judgment, and that is something for you and your parents to discuss together. We're going to skip over here to what is a metaphor, and you might remember this word metaphor because we talked about it quite a bit in ELA, the difference between similes and metaphors. So a metaphor is very similar to a simile, but there was one major difference. If you remember, a simile uses like or as to do something, and then a metaphor does not use it. Okay, so let's find out what a metaphor is, because we're going to see a couple questions that talk about metaphors. Metaphors are used to explain things by making comparisons. So remember, in a simile, we compare using like or as, but in a metaphor, we're just comparing. For instance, in this issue of Arizona Studies Weekly, we've compared soup to Arizona society. So we're making a comparison to soup and how you put a whole bunch of things into soup to make it delicious. And basically, we've put a whole bunch of things into Arizona society to make it maybe not delicious, but amazing. Using this metaphor, we show that like great tasting soup, a great society is made up of many different ingredients. Another metaphor for multicultural groups. People use metaphors all the time to spice up their stories, conversations, and explanations. Another common metaphor is the grapevine. Someone may repeat a story or a piece of gossip that you had not heard. When you ask them where they heard the story, they may say that they heard it through the grapevine. What does that mean? Simply that they heard a lot of other people repeating the story. When we talked about metaphors a while back in class, we talked about how we say things like, oh, you are such a pig. If I say you are such a pig, remember, that doesn't mean that you have a round nose and a curly pink tail. I'm trying to say either you're messy or you're a slob or something like that. So metaphor is a comparison, not using like or as, and in this issue of our newspaper, we're comparing Arizona to soup. All right, and last but not least, we have the peregrine falcon. You probably are familiar with the peregrine falcon, especially if you've watched the movie Miss Peregrine's So I can't remember the rest of the title, but it was something about Miss Peregrine, and she turns into a peregrine falcon. These guys are pretty cool, and they are found all over in Arizona, or used to be all over, I should say. The peregrine falcon is the fastest Arizona resident, reaching speeds of more than 200 miles per hour. That's faster than most small airplanes. The falcons use this amazing speed to dive at other birds. Sometimes they knock their prey right out of the sky, but they never eat their prey until they've plucked all its feathers. Peregrines have been known to nest in large cities where pigeons are in great supply. At one time, peregrine falcons were extremely endangered. That means there weren't very many of them left. There were fewer than 300 in the whole United States, but now, thanks to laws that outlawed certain pesticides, there are at least 3,000 pairs of peregrine falcons. So they were becoming endangered, but because of these laws that outlawed certain pesticides, now we have more of them, and the number of peregrine falcons has definitely increased, which is pretty cool. All right, that concludes our newspaper for the week, our final newspaper for your 4th grade school year. Hopefully you paid attention and highlighted so that you can answer all the questions correctly when the time comes. Have a great day. See you guys later. Bye.